Hey, you guys, welcome to another episode of Think and Grow with Vette Green. If you have not yet, make sure you hit the button to subscribe so that you will be the first to know as soon as I drop a new podcast episode. So, again, you guys, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button right now. Go ahead, hit it, stop procrastinating. Come on and support your girl. Hit that subscribe button right now. Okay, let's get into it. All right, you guys. So, last week, if you aren't following me, then you may have missed last week's episode, which I dropped solely on YouTube. Had some technical issues, and I said, you know what, the devil is a liar. I'm going to drop this just on YouTube. So go ahead and head on over to my YouTube channel. You can do a search by Think and Grow with Vette Green, and you'll be able to find last week's episode, the podcast episode. So this week I am recording directly into my podcast as well as recording this video. So depending on how you like to get your content, whether it's video or simply audio, I am here for you. Your girl is here for you. I am out here trying to do what I do, you guys, and make sure that once I learn something that I also share that, because I believe that our blessings are truly in our testimony, and the test that we've gone through is the testimony of where God brought us from. So make sure you are subscribing to the podcast. Make sure that you are also liking, sharing the videos that are on YouTube, and go ahead and follow me on Instagram and as well as Facebook. So if you aren't familiar with me, I am Vette Green, and I have been doing this for a little bit over a year now. I actually started recording my journey, this self-discovery journey, back in 2018. And it's taken me some time to come into this person that you see on video right now. I've gone through a journey of discovering exactly who I am, because for the longest time, I could only identify with being a mom and being a wife. And when those roles changed, and they're continuing to change, because I'm no longer anybody's wife. I am my own person. I am Vette Green. I'm still a mom, but instead of parenting to little children, I'm actually parenting adults, and that's a whole nother topic, which I definitely want to get into. I want to hear what you guys are doing. I'm talking to the parents who are parenting adults. I want to know what you guys are doing to, one, stay sane, two, make sure that you aren't all up in your kids' business, because you remember, I know I remember growing up and being a young adult, not wanting my parents all up in my business. But you also want to be able to provide your adult children with guidance and support. So chime in, you guys. DM me, tell me what you guys are doing so that you don't choke a child out. Choke a grown child out because they getting in your nerves. So anywho, you guys, so again, for those of you who are new to this channel or to my podcast, I am Vette Green, and back in 2018, I went on a journey of self-discovery. I had been through a lot. I had been in a mental institution. I tried to commit suicide on more than one occasion. I did I had a really bad addiction to pills and alcohol, which thankfully I was able to overcome. Thank you, God. And I'm going to talk about it more down the line, but what I continue to do so that I don't go back to that person. And that's one of the reasons why I decided to tell my story and to begin a podcast, because I believe that if my story can help someone who's also facing the things that I faced, then that means the purpose that God placed on my life when He saved me, when He brought me out of that dark place, then that means I'm fulfilling the purpose that He put on my life. And it is not easy, you guys. I won't lie and say that this process is easy, but what I do know is that what I started believing about myself, what I started focusing on in my life, the accountability that I placed on myself has helped me. It has truly helped me get to a place where 2 years ago, I couldn't fathom that this could be my life. And no, I'm not rich. No, I'm not out here living the bestest life, but I'm living a much better life than I was when I started on this journey. And I can trace back this journey to further than 2018. 2018 is when I decided to take step into my full power of who God called me to be. 2018 is when I took my power back from everyone that I had lent it to, everyone that I had given it to freely, everyone that had taken it from me, or so I thought. 2018 is when I stepped into Vette Green and I started embracing her. I started embracing this woman who I had no idea was even there. I started focusing on that strength that is within, which I call God. You know, you can call it the universe, you can call it Mother Nature, or whatever it is you want to call it. I started focusing on that force that's within me. And due to me realigning what I was focusing on, it's helped me. So if I can help you do the same thing, then all will be right in the universe, because that's what God wants. God doesn't want us out here struggling for no reason. Now there's going to definitely be some struggles, but there's always going to be a struggle prior to the success, right? Without the struggle, there wouldn't be a lesson. Without the struggle, there wouldn't be that strength that you are, that strength of God. With God within, how could anything be against you? That's the truth. I know I used to hear that all the time. Growing up, I used to hear that. And I was like, yeah, whatever. You know, that those are just words. But along this journey, those words resonated with me, and they became like a tool that I can use in my everyday life, knowing that when I wake up, God said yes. Knowing that when I go to sleep, God is still telling me yes. Knowing that as I go throughout my day, God is telling me yes. Now, walking into that yes and not being afraid, that's something that we can work through together, because I am not done on my journey. I am not done at all. I was just talking to a coach the other day, and she's like, you know, what's holding you back from the next level that you're supposed to be on right now? And I told her flat out, you know, it's fear. She calls it the imposter syndrome. That's real. That's real. Prior to me being able to step into this role that I'm in right now, I had an imposter syndrome, because I thought, okay, God, you brought me from a place where I was taking pain pills 4 at a time, many times a day, probably 6 times a day. Do the math. Yep, do the math. Think about it. You brought me from that place where I was waking up in the morning and I was taking a drink, to a place where I can take a drink here or there and I can put it down. God, you brought me from that place, and now you're telling me that I'm supposed to be speaking life into people. I'm supposed to be speaking life into people and helping them through that dark place. You're telling me, Vette Green, that that's what I'm supposed to be doing? So yes, don't think that you are the only one that's suffering from things or have challenges in your life that you're facing and you're out here all by your lonesome, because you're not. what I've been able to do to get me where I am right now, not to get me where I know God wants me to go, to get me where I am right now, are use some useful tools that I picked up along the way. And one of them I spoke about last week. Well, two of them I spoke about last week are my why and accountability. I want to touch back on that because I know that having a why in my life and you having a why in your life, the why, if you didn't listen to the last week's episode, make sure you go back because I talk about your why. My why is my family. My why is myself. You are one of my whys. Your why is going to get you up in the morning and keep you pushing, even though you may feel like you want to just stay in the bed for that morning. Your why is going to help you in those dark times where you are confused and you're like, is this something that I really want to do? Is this something that I really want to do? Your why is going to help you get over that hump of why you really should be doing that. Why you should get up in the morning, why you should push through, even though your body mentally, our mental is, our minds are so strong. And sometimes when that depression hits, it will not only affect your mind, it will affect your body. And suddenly this arm that you can fling around, and if you're watching the video, you see I'm flinging my hands around, that arm that you can fling around feels like there's a weight attached to it. That's depression. What I want to help you do is identify when you're feeling like that and help you identify the tools that you can use to get you through those bouts of depression, because they do come and go. They ebb and they flow. Sometimes you'll have just a little bit of depression and you'll be able to push through. And I'm speaking to you from my own experience. Some days there'll be a little bit of depression and it's easy to push through. And then other days it's going to be a fight. You're going to be in a fight, and it's going to be more than, a girl fight where you're like, you're pulling back. It's going to be, blow for blow. You're out there and depression's throwing a blow, and here you are, you got to double jab back at them. Sometimes that's just how it's going to be. What I want to do is teach you what to do when those things come up. And then other times you may just feel like, oh, I'm on top of the mountain. You're in flow, as Oprah Winfrey calls it. You're in flow. There's some days I'm so in flow that somebody can say something real snotty and nasty to me, and it bounces off of me and bounces back to them, because it's like, okay, you can have that energy. Listen, that energy that you're on, I'm not on, and I rebuke you, devil. I rebuke you, devil. So there's a lot of things that I have learned on this journey that I'd be more than happy to teach you. I want to teach you because there's a peace that I've been able to attain because of it, you guys. I was having a conversation with someone the other day, and we were talking about going from 0 to 100 as far as our emotions. And the person said to me, you don't seem like you ever get angry, and I'm like, what? Like, if you knew me a few years ago, you would be like, yeah, girl, you don't have a middle, because I didn't. There was a time in my life where I did not have a middle ground. It has taken me a while to find that middle ground, and that middle ground is my peace. That middle ground is the peace that I found because of God, because I know that there's a purpose on my life. There's a peace in that, you guys. And yeah, I do get mad. There's times that I do get angry, but because I am accountable for myself and I am accountable for my reactions, I try and keep those types of emotions in check, because I know when I get mad, there was a point in my life where it took me some time to calm down once I got mad. That tears falling down, the crying, the screaming, and literally, I swear I could feel the heat coming off my neck. I would be so mad, and it would drain me. Literally, it would drain me. And I would get that mad, and before I know it, I'm in the bed for the rest of the day. If it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon and I'm mad and upset because somebody did, what good is me being in the bed at 2 o'clock in the afternoon going to do? Nothing. Nothing at all. So I became mindful of my emotions and keeping in mind that no, I can't control the things around me that are going on, but I can most definitely control how I react. So that's all a part of accountability. When you become accountable for your actions, then that puts you. Listen, Michelle Obama says, when they aim low, you aim high. That's the truth. No matter how bad they make you, how bad they make you mad, how angry you may feel in that moment, check in with yourself and make sure that you aren't absorbing what they're trying to throw at you. You understand what I'm saying? It's very easy to react based on what someone is saying to you, because of their hurt. If they're picking on you, or if they say something sarcastic, and you know very well that you haven't done anything to them, they're just feeding off of something negative that's going on in their life. Why should I absorb that? That has nothing to do with me. Your feelings about what you think about me has nothing to do with me. Nothing to do with me. You're trying to bounce that negative feeling onto me because that's how you're feeling. I don't want to have anything to do with that. So, I'm going to go about my business. That's all a part of being accountable for yourself, checking in with you from time to time. There's this book that I'm reading about mental health, and I have it down here. Oh, it's the Unapologetic Guide to Black Mental Health. It's by Dr. Rita Walker. And in it, in the first few pages, she talks about checking in with yourself on a 0 to 10 scale. I think that's phenomenal. Checking in with myself in the morning is something that I do every single day. And there's days that it's when that negative emotion is trying to come up, or depression, or there's a negative thought going on in my head based on something that happened the next day. Why should I bring that into my new day? This is a brand new day. I am accountable for myself. I am accountable for my life. I am accountable for my actions. So because of that, I'm going to do everything that I can to make sure that I start on a good foot. So checking in with ourselves is something that we should be doing all day long. As soon as you wake up, check in. Where am I what am I feeling right now? And what is it that is going on in my life that I'm feeling this way, whether it's good or bad, and take a journal of it. Listen, you guys, I have so many journals, and day one is one of my favorite ones. This is a write. You can actually write in the journal, but day one is an app that I use on my phone, which I love because you can. Not only can you write in there, you can take pictures and upload them. You can actually say you don't want to actually write. You can record a video and upload it right into your day one. It's a phenomenal app, especially when you are trying to keep track of your everyday and trying to stay in check with your feelings. It's really good to check in with yourself and document what was going on. That way you have evidence. You have proof. Okay, I wasn't having a good day on Monday. Well, let me see what was going on with me Monday that, I wasn't having a good day. I call it unpacking. A journal will help you unpack because you have proof about what was going on in your life. So that's just my spill on that. So anyways, you guys, as you can see, my life still goes on. My life still continues. You saw my daughter going across the floor, trying not to disturb her mom as she's recording this episode. But you know, life goes on. You guys are going to see the real, okay? There's no use in faking the funk, you know. There's no reason to. I want you guys to feel comfortable and get some laughs out of, you know, the things that I'm doing, because I want this to feel like a family. This is a neighborhood that we are trying to build, and sometimes you're going to see my granddog pop in the video, or my daughter crawling across the floor as she's getting ready to go to school. You know, this is just life. Life happens, and I really believe if we stop taking ourselves so seriously, that, you know, we'll be in a much better place. And like I was saying, checking in is very helpful. It's very helpful to stay in tune with your feelings and where they're coming from, and your emotions, and where those emotions are coming from. That is all a part of accountability, you guys. I cannot stress it enough. I wanted to come on here and talk about it twice, because there's a maturity level that comes when you start being accountable for your life. There's a maturity that starts to build when you start raising your hand and saying to yourself, yeah, I messed up. Yeah, you know, I messed that up. What can I do to fix it? Checking in with yourself, asking yourself, what can I do to take myself to a place that I've never seen before? And I'm not talking about physically, I'm talking about just a place where you are able to live in peace within yourself and start loving yourself for who you are, no matter what that looks like, not based on what society is telling you, or based on what society is trying to tell you that you are. I'm talking about that thing that you feel deep down inside of you, that your soul, the soul of who you really are. All of that comes from accountability. When you can raise your hand and say, I'm taking my power back. You no longer have control over me. This is my life. That is all a part of being accountable. It's also saying to yourself, okay, I need help in these areas. These are areas in my life where I'm struggling. You may be struggling to put the pieces together as far as what you should be doing in your life. What does that look like for you? I had to take all of my mess and lay it out on a table. There's a video I made about a year ago where I talk about those puzzle pieces. Those puzzle pieces that you just threw in a box. Each time something happened, you just threw that puzzle piece in the box, not putting anything together, just throwing them in a box. And now all of a sudden, they're all over the place. Pieces of my life were all over the place, and I did not know how to put my life back together. I began on this journey of putting my life back together, and for me that meant moving away. For me that meant doing something I had never done before. For you that may mean getting a degree, or signing up for a GED class, or taking a CNA class, or actually putting in an application for a job. I don't know what that looks like for you, but what I can do is help you to get there. I can help you begin to put those puzzle pieces of your life back together. And I called this podcast Think and Grow with Vette Green for a reason, because it has taken me thinking about what's going on in my life in order to grow. Think, take action. Think, take action. Learn, think, take action. All of that is a part of this thing called life. Accountability and why. Why should I do XYZ? Why? That 3-letter word is huge, because there is a reason why you should be doing better than you are right now. You have a reason why. You may be looking, as you're listening to this podcast, to this video, you may be looking over at your why right now. Isn't that enough to make you want to get up off the couch? Isn't that enough to make you want to do some changes in your life? Isn't that enough to say, you know what? I'm washing my hands of that situation because it's not bringing any value into my life anymore. So you know what? I'm washing my hands of that situation. Isn't your why enough to make you want to do that? Aren't you enough to want to make a change in your life? I think you are. I think you for darn sure are. What I want to help you do is find that drive, identify your why, and take accountability in your life. Take your power back. Take your power back. Those simple tasks will make your life so much easier. But you have to be open to it. You have to be open and ready to do those things. If you aren't, it's not going to work because there's always going to be some resistance. That resistance was not doing me any good in my life. That resistance was actually doing me more harm. I had to say, you know what, Vette? Enough is enough. Is this really how you want to live the rest of your life? I talk about how I was in a car one day talking to a girlfriend, and we got into a conversation about the Bible. And she told me in the Bible, and I went and read up on this myself, and it does talk about having 70 years on this earth. At the time that we had the conversation about that passage in the Bible, I thought to myself, if I am 42 years old and God is telling me that I may have the promise of at least 70 years, do I really want to live the next 30 some odd years in the same situation, doing the same thing that I've been doing, and I'm still not happy? Do I really want to live the rest of my life like this? That was like a light bulb moment for me, you guys. That was like a aha for me. I couldn't see myself living like that for the next 5 years, less known, possibly 30. Are you kidding me? I did not like my life, you guys. I did not like my life. I'm the first to tell you. I was just like, this thing needs to be over with. I just didn't like it. I knew I didn't want to die. I knew that spirit of suicide that had overtaken me on more than one occasion was based on the feelings that I had not identified, the trauma that I had not yet identified, the challenges that I felt like I was failing, but I really wasn't. I just didn't have the tools to help me pass. I knew I wanted a change in my life, and I knew that to continue doing it the way that I was doing it was insanity. If you look up the definition of insanity, it will read to you doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. I wanted a different result. What I was doing was not working for me. It was not working for me anymore. And I knew that in order to make my life work, I had to find out what I needed in my life, what tools I needed in my life, what knowledge I needed in my life. So I went on a journey to find that out. And lo and behold, it works. It works. It works, you guys. I cannot say that enough. It works. The only thing it took was for me to start thinking, to start using my mind, not based on what someone is telling me and me not doing the research behind it. It took for me to listen, learn, stop talking so much, listen, learn, and now I'm putting those things that I've picked up into action. I'm putting the tools, I'm using those tools now. And a couple of podcasts before, and again, I'll say, if you are not subscribed to me, make sure you hit that button and subscribe, because these are lessons. And if you are really open to change in your life, if you are really tired of doing the same thing that you've been doing and getting the same result that you got in 2020, 2019, 2018, if you're really open to change in your life, then come on into the neighborhood. You are more than welcome. You are more than welcome. I am going to provide you with knowledge and a base that you can build on. Many of us have a structure that is torn. So when those storms come, when those tornadoes come, when those hurricanes come, when that 8 foot of snow come, you can't survive because your base is broken. Your structure is no longer sound because of the trauma that you've gone through. And you are out there feeling like you are in the middle of the ocean and everything is about to swallow you up. Let me help you. Let me help you. Let me show you what I've done to change my life. Let me show you what I've done to increase my income by 60% in less than 3 years. Less than 3 years. I'm going to keep on saying this because I know some of you need other things to incentivize you. Some of you, it's going to be money. I can show you how to increase your income. And it's not extra hard work that you're going to have to do. It is something that we all should be doing, and it is taking accountability in our lives. That's it. Taking accountability for where you are. Stop blaming the next person. Stop listening to the naysayers. Stop listening to the haters, because they aren't getting you anywhere. They never got me anywhere. They actually held me back. They were like, stay back here, stay back here. Stop listening to all of that. Seriously, you guys. So if you are willing to think and grow, hit the button. Subscribe to my podcast. Come and join the neighborhood. Come and join the neighborhood. This weekend, I went back to the root of this journey. And if you've been on this journey with me, you know that writing is, I'm a writer. I'm a writer. I've been shying away from that. You know, that when I started on this healing journey in 2014, I started with a group on Facebook. And you guys are welcome, more than welcome, to join this group. I started writing out what I was going through, but in a story form, and I put it into characters, and I'm doing that with this character that has been, she's been with me on this journey for a while, and her name is Nairobi. And Nairobi and I are writing her story. We're writing her story because she too has overcome a lot of things. And I want, because Nairobi's story closely matches my own, and Nairobi's story is going to resonate with some of you that have gone through these things, I feel like I need to put it in a book, and I am going to put it in a book. It's something that I have been dragging my feet on. earlier in this episode, I spoke about that imposter syndrome and how I was talking to a coach about that, and she identified that, like, Vet, this is what's going on with you. You know, even though I've been able to overcome so many things in my life, it's not over. It's not over. There's still things, there's levels that I need to get to. And in order to get there, I have to release this imposter syndrome, feeling like this is not what God has called me for. Like, this is not what God has called me for when He's already told me yes. But I have to put it in my mind like that. Yes, God said yes to you. Stop thinking that He didn't. Stop thinking that this dream that He's placed inside of you is not going to come true. You just have to be consistent, be willing and open to learn, and take action in your life. So, you guys, come along with me. Make sure you like, share, follow, subscribe. Send me a request to be added to the Think and Grow with Vet Grain group. I'll add you. You can read part of Nairobi's story. Right now, I'm just doing like a test of it in the Facebook group, and then I'm gonna bring Nairobi to life. You know, I'm going to open up that realm, that vault that Nairobi's been in. You know, I've had her story for some time, so I have to breathe life into it. I have to get over that hump. And if I can help you guys get over those humps, then come on, come along with me. So I love you guys. As always, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for everyone who's been on this journey with me for a very long time. I got some riders out there, you guys. I got some riders out there, and I am so very appreciative to you. You never ever know whose life you're saving with just a kind gesture, however you say the word. So love you guys. Have a wonderful week.